Hey everybody, it is Andrew back here, and today I want to go into the question of which tags do the parents value the most? So I've done a little bit of research, a little bit of an experiment on my own. Yes, it will be anecdotal, but you'll see whether you agree with my experiment or not. So I want to talk to 4 different things today. Number uno, I want to talk about how just taking what the mentor gives you is probably not the best idea, and I'll give 2 reasons on why that is. Number 2, I'll go into my experiment. Number 3, I'll show you the little spreadsheet that I've done as well. And number 4 is I want to give you a challenge at the end as well and see what you find out. So, number 1, why is it that just taking what the mentor gives you isn't the best idea? The reason why I say this is because just think about it. If you were to meet someone for 30 minutes and then describe them perfectly on their best attributes, do you think you could do that very well? I know for me, I couldn't. Over the internet, someone you're just meeting, they're nervous, I don't think they're doing you much justice. Now, I'm not knocking the mentors. I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't be able to describe someone perfectly in a 30-minute interview, that's for sure. So that's reason number 1 why I don't think those are, just to take those would not be the best idea, because I don't think they're going to be accurate. Some will, some won't. That's just how it would be, and that's what I would be. If I was a mentor, I would be in the same boat as that. Number 2, your teaching evolves. So, especially for those people like me who I don't have any teaching experience or very little in terms of a classroom setting. My teaching has evolved immensely in the last few months, and so is yours, I'm sure, as well, for online teaching. So we're evolving as teachers, and so are our attributes. So that's reason number 2 why just taking what the mentor gives you probably is no longer accurate, because you're going to evolve, you're going to get better, you're going to hone your skills in certain areas more than others. So that is reason number 2, not just take what they give you. Okay, the second one, let's go into my experiment. So my experiment was as follows, and the question of which do the parents value the most in terms of tags? Now, I don't know. I researched. I looked all over the internet. I don't see a whole lot. I see what people think, parents like the best, but I tried to take it to the next level a little bit with an experiment. My experiment was, I went into all of my 5 apples, and I cut and pasted every time they gave me a tag. So every time they left me a tag, so I think I've got about 122 5 apples, and of course not every parent will leave you a tag or leave you comments, but I went through all of them. I cut and pasted them over into a Word document, and then I hit find on all of them to see which ones are coming up the most often. Now, just keep in mind, I do put tags on my profile, so those might come up a little more often, but some of them are not, because for example, scaffolding, we'll find out where that one comes in. That was not on my profile very much, and we'll find out that that comes up a lot in terms of my feedback. And it is anecdotal, but I think what the parents are leaving me the most is what they value the most. Not necessarily what I'm doing the best. Yes, there is some linkage there as well, but I think they are really looking at what do they value the most as a parent. So that is the assumption I'm making, is that they are leaving me not only what I'm doing the best, but they are really focusing in on what they value the most also. So I've got the top 6, and I've done the top 6 because that's how many we can have for tags. We can have, but I'll get into all the results, so I'll show you that as well in the spreadsheet. But I've done the top 6, and it'll be interesting for you to see just what came out in terms of the top 6. And going forward, this is what I'm putting as my tags going forward. Now, having said that, I don't want you putting a tag if you're not that. So, and this is going to get me in trouble, but whatever. I don't care. I'm not very political. So, if you're like Sleepy Joe Biden, then don't put that you've got a lot of energy. So I know I'll take some flack, probably get some dislikes for that, but whatever. Anyways, so I don't want you putting something just because it's high up there in terms of where things are at, but at the same time, you can work towards it, or you can put it and you can try and really focus in on that area. So that's what I'll say about that. So let's get into my little experiment here. So top 6, let's start at number 6. So let's take a look here. Number 6 is coming in at 43 times. We have pronunciation. Pronunciation came in at number 6. So you'll see my rankings here. So 43 times out of the 122 5 apples, this came up, pronunciation. Number 5, we have we have low energy, or high energy I should say, came in 44 times. So energy, keep that in mind, coming up a lot. And next we have number 4. We have TPR, came in 45 times, so a close here in 4th. TPR, again, a lot of these will be common sense. Some may surprise you though. Number 3, we have error correction, coming in 48 times, vital for the parents with error correction. Number 2, we have, this one surprised me, because like I said in a prior video, I'm surprised that parents know what this means. Up front, when I started teaching, I didn't even know what scaffolding meant. But anyways, it's coming up a lot. It came up a lot in my profile in terms of the feedback, and the parents definitely know what it means because they leave it a lot. And this was not on my tag until recently. I did not have this, so this shows you that it's important to the parents, and it's not just because it was on as a tag, because I just had it recently. So scaffolding. Okay, now your guess is, what was the top that came back over and over? I think a lot of you will probably guess it. It is encourage. Oh dear, I'm butchering this one. Encouragement. Encouragement came up 72 times. So by far the most. So that tells you that that is very important to the parents, that you're encouraging. Now, keep in mind we have to have at least one from each area. So, and this list does give you at least one. Now, let's go into the different areas. You've got to have one from personality. That is energy. So, I used to have my mentor assign me creative. Well, I'll show you on the spreadsheet very soon. That does not come up very often. So, yes, maybe I'm not very creative, but I don't think, and when you think about the Chinese culture, they don't value creativity. They don't, or not as much as maybe our culture does. So, you need something in the personality category. Energy is the one, by far, the one that you want. You need something in the strengths category. That is pronunciation. That one, it was close, but that one was the best one for the strengths category. Now, all the other ones that you'll see on here come from the teacher skills, so you need to load up on the teacher skills. So encouragement, scaffolding, error correction, and TPR, they all come from teacher skills. So a strategy would be to put these two in here in those respective categories and then load up in the teacher skills. Those are coming up more and more often in terms of where things are at. So what I'll do next is I'll show you all of the results so that you can see them. So I'll give you, take a look at the spreadsheet here, and I'll go through all of them with you very quickly. So you'll see it was pretty close in 7th and 8th and 9th, and then it really drops off after that. And just a funny thing here, I compiled all the data and I came out with 29 tags, and I'm like, okay, I can't present this because they'll wonder what the heck's going on. There's only 25 and you're presenting 29. Well, there are apparently tags out there that are not on our system. So the parents can leave you tags that aren't in our system of 25. For example, time management. So I've taken those off of there just to make sure it is straightforward here. But time management came up a little bit for me, and other things, but they weren't very much. They came up a little bit. So take a look at all of them here. It really drops off when you get to 10, to facial expressions, and then you've got a bunch of nothing burgers. So to quote Kevin O'Leary, we've got a bunch of nothing burgers like humorous, detail-oriented, friendly, reading, listening, vocabulary, phonics, pacing, rapport building. So all of those, if you got them as a tag, Well, my experiment shows those are not very important to the parents because they're not telling me, or maybe I'm not doing them at all. That could be part of it also, but I think they are not very important to the parents. So those are the findings. Take it for what you think anyways. The last thing that I'll talk to today is a challenge for you. So a challenge for you would be to do what I've done. And maybe you don't, I know you've probably got tons of 5 apples. Maybe you just take a section of maybe 100 or something like that, or 50, anything, and just do what I've done. You can copy and paste them into a Word document. It took me maybe 20 minutes to do this. It did not take very long. And then you just Control F, and then you start hunting for the different traits to see how many times they come up. And it would be interesting to see if for you, or if you could post also what your top 6 were also, and to see if they jive with what I'm finding. So if we have enough people do this, we should be able to make a pretty conclusive report that these would be the top 6. These were only the ones for me, but if I had like 10 people that did it and we could get a list from that, then we should have a pretty good idea with what would be the most valuable tags to the parents. So I ask if you could do that, if you could spare 20 minutes and copy and paste and then Control F and find your top 6 and post it back here in the comments. That would help my experiment immensely, and we could really nail down with the most important tags. So that's the video for today. Please like my video if you like it. Please subscribe. I do videos every few days. I scour the internet looking for information, bring it back here, source to the teachers that need recognition. This is my own little experiment today. Hopefully it's helpful to you, and I'll talk to you a little later in the week. Bye, everybody.